Hi, Meet. Welcome to our channel. So, viewers, if you are joining me for the first time, I am Nash Sumro, one of the junior doctors working in Australia. I'm an IMG. And today we've got a lucky Indian doctor who recently got a job after AMC 1. So, I'll introduce Meet Dave over here, and he will then talk about himself. So, I'm going to do less of talking today and more of listening. So, Meet, handing over to you.
Hey, Naj, thank you so much. So, if I'm to introduce myself, well, I graduated from Ukraine in 2015. After that, I gave the exam which I was supposed to give in India. And after 1 year of internship, I started working in a private hospital back home. Well, during that process, I met my wife. Well, at that time, we got engaged, and in 2018, as she is a citizen, I gave AMC step one in 2018. After that, I got my visa in 2019. So that was like, at the beginning, I felt like the visa was the toughest part. But when once I reached to Australia, I got to know nah, it was just the beginning. When I started applying for jobs, I had no clue because coming from India, where there is shortage of doctors, you always will have a job back home. You go over there, you apply, and yeah, you will get the job. But over here, the scenario is completely different. The process is quite you have to sit down and understand how it happens and how it works. So yeah.
So, thank you for that intro. So, could you please tell us when did you appear for the AMC and when did you start first applying for jobs?
Right. Yeah. Well, I appeared in AMC in June 2018, and well, I studied for like what 3 months, and then I passed the AMC. And the same year, I gave PTE as well. And well, I came to Australia in 2019 and started applying jobs. Um, yeah, that's the scenario. And from 2019 May, I've been applying for jobs.
So the first jobs you applied were in early 2019. Would that be correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this is now almost end of 2020. So seems like it took you about 18 months to get your first job. Could you
Right.
please shed some light on the first year of you applying the jobs? How many jobs did you apply? What sort of uh, what was the response you were getting from them?
So basically, it took me a while to understand how Australian system works. I was applying for every job which I found. I have applied for advanced trainee jobs and RMO jobs and whatnot. So basically, in the beginning, I had no idea how Australian system works. It took me a while. After that, I was getting responses like you haven't given AMC step two or you don't have enough experience. So it was basically vague response. They did not tell me that you are not suitable for this position. They just gave me a big response that yeah, you cannot get the job.
Okay, so you contacted me about 3 to 4 months ago. So
Right.
before you contacted me, how many jobs roughly did you apply for?
Maybe 50, 60. I'm not too sure.
And did you get any interviews?
Oh yeah, I got one interview, and well, when I got the interview, I was back home for my wedding, and yeah, I got the interview over the phone, but I had no idea, what are the questions they were going to ask, how to prepare for one. I didn't get the job at the time.
Yeah, so out of about 50 jobs, you got one interview, and obviously that didn't work out. So, just for the audience, Meet was applying for jobs after AMC 1 and the English exam, and
Yeah.
you had some sort of spouse visa slash temporary visa at that
Yes.
point of time. So, your work limitations were not a problem, but however, still with having a visa, he was getting you getting issues in terms of responses from the employers.
Yeah.
Now, you contacted me about 3 4 months ago. So what sort of things did you change, and then how were you able to proceed forward and be successful in getting the job?
Right. So basically, after our first chat, what you told me, I had to sit down and grasp it. And then systematically I made some notes. I started making to-do lists, these are the things you have asked me to do. I started taking those things off. So I made a list of the jobs where I was rejected. After that I started applying jobs where I'm suitable for. I didn't apply for higher position jobs. And the things you told me, be persuasive, and I had to be constant about it. So yeah, it took me 4 months, but it was worth it. And after that, even I was getting proper responses. So yeah, I had to dig something, but yeah, I got some proper responses. That's why I'm not suitable for that.
So congratulations. So just because you haven't, you're in the process of getting the registration, and it's going to take a bit of time. We'll just let
Right,
the audience know that you've got a job somewhere in Western Australia, and
right,
but still the process is ongoing. And in Australia, it takes a bit of time once you get the job to get the registration, which is the next step, and it can
mhm.
take up to 2 to 3 months, sometimes less than that. Um, so just going back one step, when in the last 4 months, roughly how many jobs did you apply and how many interviews did you get?
So roughly, I applied for 40, nearly 40 jobs, because that was a COVID time, and there were some extra jobs for COVID. But after applying, I got to know they are requiring for candidates who already have APRA. But basically, in the beginning, I started applying for all the COVID jobs from all the states. So yeah, nearly 40 jobs, and I got 2 interviews and one observership. And from my observership, I got the job.
Great, excellent. So, if for somebody in your shoes who has been applying for some time, and obviously not getting that luck, what would be the few tips that you will give them which could increase their chances of getting a job? Obviously, you mentioned
Right.
observership.
So observership, yeah, if you get it, but otherwise ask someone for help, because when you are looking at the same thing over and over, for you it's perfect. But when someone else, if you get 2 extra eyeballs to look at your CV or your selection criteria, that helps a lot. So when I sent you my selection criteria and CV, you pointed out some minor details that I had to change, and that helped me a lot. I made a whole new CV after that. And yeah, you told me the previous one was what's not that great, and the newer one was but. So yeah, I changed the whole CV after that. So yeah, ask someone for help, because of course eventually help is what you need. Other thing I would recommend is keep applying. So it's like a Lego piece. You have to fit somewhere, but yeah, you never know where's your mother piece. Keep applying. Eventually, you'll find it. It's just the consistency you need.
Yeah, seems like you're saying that people who are motivated and consistent and consistently apply for jobs are the ones who get the eventual
Yes.
job. So yeah, I think it's a really good piece of advice that you have given. Now, you also had a bit of preparation about your interview. Some of the people, as you mentioned previously, you also had an interview the first time, and it
Right.
didn't work out. What were the things that you changed in your interview this time that give you an edge?
So basically, during my first interview, I only prepared for some medical scenarios, and that was not the case in Australia. They only ask you one scenario, and apart from that, they have 3 or 4, maximum 5 questions apart from your medical knowledge. So they ask you about your own values and why do you want to work over here. Those all the things I did not prepare. And when we were doing the preparation, you told me, you gave me some tips, and that changed the whole answer. And yeah, that helped me a lot.
Perfect. Well done on getting the job. So again, for all the
Thanks.
viewers over here, that Meet has been able to get a RMO position, which is also a junior doctor position in Australia, just based on AMC 1 and English. So there's a big Meet that goes on around in the circles that AMC clinical is necessary. What's your view on that?
So basically, when I contacted you, I started believing that yeah, that myth is correct. And I also booked the date. But because of COVID, my exam got postponed, and here I am. I still have the job now. It's still a myth, I understand, but when you don't have anything else to look for, yeah, of course you're gonna start preparing for step two, but step two is not necessary, I would say.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. All right, Meet, I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining in and sharing your valuable insight on getting a job in Australia. So congratulations once again.
All right, thank you so much.